I started Share the Dignity when I read an article back in 2015 that Mamma Mia had written that talked about how there were 48,000 women who were experiencing homelessness and how they were using socks and newspaper and wadded up toilet paper to deal with their period. And I could not believe that that was happening here in Australia. And when I Google searched it, it wasn't the first article to be written. And I thought, how do you just jog on from reading something like that? And so at that stage, I had my own personal training business, and I asked all my clients to bring me a packet of pads or tampons for every wine they had in the month of March 2015. So some ladies would just come with a bag and say, don't count them, babe, let's just start training. And we collected 450 packets of period products that we then gave out to 5 local charities. It's, however, not something like giving her a warm jacket or a pair of shoes. It's a monthly problem, and the problem is so much bigger than I ever first imagined. We have 175,000 people who turned to homelessness services last year alone. We've got our drought-stricken farming communities, we've got floods, we've got fires, we've got remote Indigenous communities where access to period products, it's $21 for a packet of pads in a Indigenous community. So we do collections in March and August, so you'll find in every Woolworths store around Australia collection boxes and in local other businesses. And we do It's in the Bag. So It's in the Bag is like my favourite child. So it's where we ask everyday Australians to put together a bag, fill it with life's essentials, things like shampoo, conditioner, toothbrush, toothpaste, deodorant, soap, and period products. And we're going to be doing that today. And then we get them out to women in domestic violence services, homelessness services, out to remote Indigenous communities where they just do not get products like this. And to be honest, this year these 300 bags that you're putting together will go towards our 1 millionth bag that we've been able to distribute in the last 9 years, which is pretty impressive, right?
It's something we're really proud of, to be very honest. We're going into the second year of the Fighting Period Poverty round for the WNBL, which is really exciting. The way it came about was, interestingly, the Adelaide Lightning, we don't have any Lightning athletes here today, no. The Adelaide Lightning actually did their own club round aimed at fighting period poverty the year before. And when we came together with the clubs a couple of years ago now and said, what are we going to do? They actually shared the round that they had done and the impact it had significantly on the local community. On top of that, we'd gone out to all of our fans and stakeholders and said, what do you think we should be doing as a league? Where do you think we should be putting our resources in this space? And one of the things that came through really clearly was you're a female league and you need to be doing something to be supporting females, women and girls. So putting all of that together is, I suppose, how the round then came about. Out of the blue, we just reached out to Rochelle and Share the Dignity and said, look, this is what we're thinking of doing. We connected with them and said, what do you think? And they said, look, we love the idea, let's get together. And so really proudly, we did the first round last year, and obviously we're coming into the second round this year. We're the only professional sporting league in the country that does a round aimed at fighting period poverty.
You know, my dream one day is for this to be a normal part of sport, right? Because could you imagine how many women and girls are missing sport because they can't afford period products? So for WNBL to be talking about it, our next thing is how do we get NRL to be talking about? How do we get normal mainstream it just to be part of the normal conversations?
What's one thing you've learned today about fighting period poverty?
I think it's very important overall just to help those who are in need and who really need help and who really need these items. So I think it's important for us to continue to give back to the people who are just like us.
I've learned it's a really, a lot of people experience this kind of stuff, and if you don't really invest in your time to get to know about it and stuff, you won't really know. I think me coming here, it's kind of opened my eyes about it and stuff like that, because I know I'm very fortunate enough to get all these products and stuff like that without suffering with that. And I've got sisters and stuff, and if I ever know that they're going through this kind of stuff, it makes me feel absolutely, sick. So other people going through it, it sounds horrible. So I think it's really good for us to make aware of this and kind of make something do it.
It's something that happens to us once a month as women. It's actually funny because, you have symptoms and things that lead up to it, and then you have the week of your period as well. So that's nearly half of every single month. So half of the year you're probably not feeling great as a woman, but we don't really speak about it. So I think the initiative that we have in the WNBL and teaming up with Share the Dignity to have this round is amazing. And I think just to be able to pack some bags and, make sure other people still have the opportunity to have their dignity and continue about their day And even if it's sport, you know, because some girls quit playing sport because of the period. So I just think it's great and glad to be a part of it.
I think it's amazing, you know, we're all women in sport, and I think even out of sport to be able to, you know, start a conversation and get people knowing about it is definitely a start, and to be able to come here and help in a little possible way as we can, I think it's great.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. I just personally feel that obviously the education and the resources could be increased, like I said, and this is an awesome cause. And obviously this is just the second year, as you said. Sorry, I'm new to this, but yeah, just the second year. So what an amazing thing for the WNBL, for women, and just for overall period poverty.
Me girls?